What's up guys, I'm Cheney. Welcome back to my channel, a place where you can find all things self-development, lifestyle and intentional living. This week I'm going to be sharing a technique called self-notes so that you can help to know yourself and understand yourself better. So I went through a phase, or perhaps I can't really call it a phase because it lasted about 4 years, where I didn't really know who I was. I had tied my identity to a girl who did music her whole life. So when I actually stopped doing music, I really was lost. I just didn't have a clue who I was anymore. In truth, I didn't really know who I was before that either, even when I was doing music. I just think the music facade, or however you say that word, clouded that realization that I didn't really know myself. I just used music and clung to that as an identity, but I didn't really understand myself. I'm sure we can agree it's not particularly enjoyable meandering through life, not really knowing who we are or what our purpose is or what we want from life, not being sure about what lights you up or what makes you feel down or low, or why certain environments make you feel uncomfortable, or why you don't enjoy certain experiences. It's also really hard to know where to start looking for yourself when you're lost. There's lots of information out there about discovering your passion and finding yourself, but I often found them quite unhelpful and quite unfruitful, to be honest. Until I came across self-notes, however. And that's when things started to change for me and I started to understand myself better. It's a very simple principle that ended up being profoundly helpful. So what are self-notes? Self-notes are exactly what they sound like, and they are notes about yourself. Sounds simple and awfully vague, doesn't it? The idea is that every time something brings you joy, you write it down. What that thing was that made you feel happy, and you put it in like a happy triggers list. Or if something makes you feel down or sad, you write down that thing under that emotion, so you know that that's something that makes you feel sad. After a while, you'll start to collect all these notes about what triggers certain emotions in you. You may even start to notice surface themes that tie certain environments with certain emotions, or certain activities with certain emotions, or underlying themes that show root causes for certain emotions. It's a really easy way to start identifying yourself and seeing yourself more wholly. So how to start collecting self-notes. You can do this on a casual basis and just start writing them down as you notice them. Just be sure to make sure you collect all your notes in one place, that you don't lose any of them, otherwise it's kind of a redundant practice. Or alternatively, you can sit down and start brainstorming all of the things that you already know make you feel unhappy, or make you feel happy, or make you feel peaceful, or things that irritate you, things that help you learn, or how you like to learn, or when you learn best. Just sit and try and recall memories of when you felt good or when you felt certain emotions, and write down what you were doing when you felt those. Or you could use self-exploratory journal prompts. The things that you can identify right now will be the obvious things to you. However, the useful notes will come when you just start to notice your mood when you're doing a certain thing and you think, oh, actually, I'm really enjoying this. I didn't realize that this was something I really enjoyed. I don't do that this often. Maybe I should do it more. It will be these notes that provide you with the new insights into yourself. This practice will also cultivate self-awareness, which will start fine-tuning your radar back into yourself again. So often when we feel lost, it's because we've become unaware of ourselves and out of touch with ourselves. We're really caught up in everything external to us instead of looking within. So doing this and starting to observe your mood when you're doing certain actions starts to create self-awareness again, and it starts to bring yourself back in. If you've been switched off to yourself for a long time, like I was, or you're just starting out on this self-awareness practice, you may find this difficult to begin with. However, the more you do this and the more you practice, the more you'll sensitize your radar, the more you'll become acutely tuned in to yourself and your emotions and how you're feeling. Personally, I think being lost comes from ignoring yourself. Over a time, you start neglecting what you need and how you feel, and keep pushing through a thing, neglecting your true self, and eventually you kind of become numb to yourself then. And that's when you really start to get lost, because you're actually not listening anymore. You've tuned yourself out. Self-discovery is a lifelong process, so please do not be disheartened if you find this slow to begin with, or you find this really difficult. As I said, it's a practice. You will become more aware and more attuned to yourself and how you're feeling as you do this. Just be kind to yourself and just practice listening to yourself. Meditation can also be really helpful with this as well, because it makes you just focus on one thing and brings your awareness back to that center space. I store all of my self-notes in Notion along with everything else in my life. It's a really easy and simple app which you can access on your desktop, your laptop, your mobile phone. This is just my preference though. You may prefer to keep your notes in a notepad specifically dedicated to your self-notes. Make sure to review your self-notes every so often also, so that you can actually start identifying those themes, because you might realize that instead of it being all these single events that may cause an emotion, that all of these events are similar in that they're all in really big spaces, or in that the certain people that are in those environments are not people that you resonate with, for example. Writing self notes down and then never looking at them is going to be a completely unhelpful practice, because you might as well not write them down if you're never going to look at them again, because you're not going to start putting things together and piecing those parts of the puzzle that are yourself together. So I hope you found this video useful. I have personally found this technique very, very easy to implement and also very insightful, so I really do hope that you do too. If you do implement self notes into your life, I'd love to hear your experience with them, and if you started doing anything different than what I've just explained here, I would love for you to share that, especially if you're finding it helpful. Equally, if you just have anything in general that helps you with self-discovery or makes just starting to listen to yourself again and cultivating that self-awareness, if you have anything that makes that easier or as a practice that you do, please share below, because I'm sure myself and everyone else on this channel will find that helpful too. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. It really does help my channel, and also make sure you turn on post notifications and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload, which is every Saturday. You can also find me on Instagram at Cheney Parsons if you'd like to follow me on there. I'll leave that link in the description box below for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.